Hello. I was just checking out my rack and we're going to need a whole slew of spices for today's recipe. Grandma likes it spicy. We're going to make pulled pork with molasses. Nothing pulls your pork better than molasses. First things first, you need a big hunk of meat. And you know what we're going to do with this meat? We're going to rub it. I've prepared the dry rub with 9 different spices from my ample rack. Cinnamon, paprika, garlic powder, ginger, allspice, chili powder, ground mustard, black pepper, and kosher salt. Vigorously rub this concoction into the pork shoulder. And don't be afraid to really grab hold of the thing and just rub it real good. And now for the magic ingredient. Crosby's Fancy Molasses. Pour in about 1.5 cups and get the meat all wet and gooey. Then cover and let it marinate in the fridge for a day. I've had this little piggy in the fridge since yesterday, so it's ready to get baked. Add 4 tablespoons of oil and roast in the oven until it's browned on all sides. Paulette in Freeport writes, Grandma Fancy, what if I over-marinate? Well, darling, you gotta keep your meat on your mind and your mind on your meat. If it's marinating for any longer than 24 hours, it's going to get too soft, and nobody likes limp meat. Limp meat is as useless as pop in the kitchen. Now add 2 chopped onions and 400 milliliters of brewed coffee. Cover the meat with parchment paper, seal the pot with tin foil, and put the cover on. All very important steps for pulled pork perfection. And now we're ready to really turn up the heat on this meat. Bake at 350 degrees for 4 hours or until the meat is falling apart. And just wait until you put it in your mouth. You'll be falling apart too. Speaking of falling apart, Shirley in Gander writes, Grandma Fancy, I have high cholesterol. Is molasses good for me? Shirley, believe it or not, Fancy Molasses is fat-free, gluten-free, and cholesterol-free. You'll find a whole list of healthy molasses recipes at crosbys.com. Voila! Pulled pork with molasses. Serve it on a fresh bun or go hog wild and eat it right out of the dish. Isn't it amazing what a good rub and a bit of Crosby's Fancy Molasses can do to an ordinary piece of meat? For more of my sweet stuff, go to crosbys.com.